It finally happened. Yes, it finally happened, Dubnation. Golden State Warriors fans, I bring the news. Breaking news, Jonathan Kuminga has re-signed with the Golden State Warriors. I repeat, Jonathan Kuminga has re-signed with the Golden State Warriors. The details of the contract, 2 years, $48.5 million total. The second year is a full team option. So, boom, boom. I love it. So, first impressions. I mean, this is like hot off the press, y'all, right? What a deal. My first impressions are what a deal for the Golden State Warriors. What a deal for the Golden State Warriors. I know that Jonathan Kuminga and his agent, Aaron Turner, had been absolutely pushing for a player option. They wanted and they needed that player option. They did not get that player option. They did not want the Warriors to have any team options, right, regarding Kuminga. Kuminga said, I want to be, after this, with this contract, I want to be in charge of my own future. Well, the Warriors are in charge of his future. They have a team option for the second year, making this contract good for the Warriors and beneficial in many ways. And I think the Warriors and Dubnation owe a little bit of maybe like a thank you to Kuminga and his agent, Aaron Turner. Although this was like a horrific process, right? They, I don't want to say that they just completely caved in, but the Warriors got a very, very team-friendly contract, right? Right about $24.5 million a year. And also, they get a very, very tradable asset. I love it. I absolutely love that. If Jonathan Kuminga stays, you're getting a prime athlete who knows the system. Jonathan Kuminga has versatility. He can handle the ball a little bit. He can defend. I don't know if he will defend, right? I mean, that's just honestly, depending on the day and how he's feeling. So that's okay, though. The good news is, yes, Jonathan Kuminga has that versatility. He can at least get to the basket like off of the dribble, which we love. He's got a little bit of point of attack defense, but of course it's not very consistent right now. But I think that one of the best things about Jonathan Kuminga, and this is like being honest because I rag on him because of his, he's not the finished product maybe, right? Let's just say that. One thing that I really do like about Jonathan Kuminga is that he's not like this super net negative out there on the court. So it's not like when Jonathan Kuminga's out there, pick on him on defense and give him the ball on offense and get out of the way. No, because he can play decent defense and also he can score. It's like if you don't guard him, he'll definitely score. He'll put that ball in the basket. So the Warriors get an athletic young wing. I mean, we know what we got with Kuminga, right? We generally know what we have. And I absolutely love that. And now this puts the onus. Like Joe Lacob has signed the check. The hands have been shaken, right? It is now up to Jonathan Kuminga. Training wheels are off. You're like you're literally a man in this world. You, Jonathan Kuminga, and the Golden State Warriors roster need to figure out a way to make it work. But how about this? I rat on Kuminga, right? Absolutely. How about this? I was on record at C-Train Station, right? And so if I'm on record and I don't take away that point that I made, I think this was like some point last year, right? I went on record saying, do not trade Jonathan Kuminga. Now that was at the moment, right? I said, don't trade him last season. I said that because Jonathan Kuminga had a few games in a row, right? Some consecutive games where he was playing positively with Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. And that's what we need. That's what we need. But he was doing really, he was like, there was this one play I specifically remember last season, and Jonathan Kuminga had this delayed run to the basket without the ball, got the ball and dunked it in, but it was like he was the toe of the tic-tac-toe. If Jonathan Kuminga can somehow get over the fact that he's not going to be handling the ball all the time and be like, look, I can score the ball. And it will be easier for me if somebody else hands the ball to me and I simply place the ball in the bucket, right? That's easier than having to go through a bunch of people. But because that's what he does. So he like goes up to the rim. He dribbles a lot and goes stiff to the rim. It maybe hits his own arm and says, a bunch. He really does, Kuminga. But like, the positive thing about this whole thing is that he's going to fit in. He essentially, it's up to him now to fit in. But the positive thing about this whole thing is like, I think that I saw him buy in. We saw him at that very moment when he cut and he was the toe of the tic-tac-toe. We've seen him do it. So it's like Jonathan Kuminga can play the Warriors style, can play the way that the Warriors want him to play. It's just, will he? But at least we know he can, which is good, because I wouldn't have said do not trade JK after a couple of amazing plays with Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler. We just wouldn't have said that last season. So that's great. If Jonathan Kuminga stays, great. If Jonathan Kuminga goes, the Warriors have set themselves up with an incredibly tradable contract. At $24.5 million, it's like he didn't make Jonathan Kuminga doesn't break that $27+ million threshold. He's like, that is a tradable contract. Like he could be, in my opinion, Kuminga could average like 13 to 15 points up until the trade deadline, and he'll still be a very viable, very tradable contract with a whole lot of upside. And the team, whoever trades for Jonathan Kuminga, should he be traded, they get to either renegotiate or they get a year with that team option. They can say, look, you prove it to us a little bit, right? You are who you say you are, and then we'll pay you a whole lot of money. I love it. The Dubs really set themselves up. And let me give you a few names. The Warriors have set themselves up brilliantly to acquire a player like, hey, reacquire Andrew Wiggins, right? Trey Murphy, even. So Andrew Wiggins and Trey Murphy are trade prospects the Warriors have looked into in the past as well. But contracts match up fairly favorably. Of course, the Warriors might have to add a little bit, which they would have to do anyways, right? Trey Murphy's a better player right now than Kuminga. Absolutely. So Wiggins right now, better two-way player by far than Kuminga when we're talking about the complete product. But the Warriors now, through this, are able to access across the aisle trades. That's what I call those, like an Andrew Wiggins for Jonathan Kuminga, right? It's more like a cross aisle. But this is also Joe Lacobs' last chance. I repeat, Joe Lacobs' effing last chance to pair Stephen Curry with the likes of either Giannis or LeBron. And trust, I am predicting lots of LeBron James to the Warriors, at least rumors, maybe to start out. But everything has its ebb and flow, right? With the league. So it's like right now, you can only sort of project how players are going to be feeling. But like I'll give you the C-Train trade 101 is like, generally you want to look for a team that's doing poorly in the league. Look for one of their more talented players. See if maybe they'll get angry or like frustrated with where they're at. Offer that good opportunity to the team and that player to play elsewhere. So, like here's an example. I believe that in the very near future, LaMelo Ball, yes, LaMelo Ball will, if Charlotte doesn't start out really hot, I think that LaMelo Ball will sort of ask out. He's already said, like, oh, I'm edging towards the Clippers. I think that his pop said that about him. But like that's a player, for example, that if he starts out and the team is bad, very tradable asset. Another team, if they start out slow, definitely the New Orleans Pelicans. If they start to really tank and stuff, they got so many players out there that Trey Murphy may be available in a trade if they tank. But you can't project that yet. So that's why I'm giving you these names, but it's pending. It's pending like life. Dominoes need to fall in order for any of these trades to be viable, right? I mean, the ink isn't even dried on Kuminga's contract right now. But I do have to mention that if Joe Lacob if his absolute 1,000,000% dream is pairing up Giannis with Stephen Curry, that is like very doable. I like Giannis has started the rumblings. I know we all saw that he met with the Bucks in the summer, but like here's the thing: is like Kuminga is that you can pair Jonathan Kuminga's contract with Jimmy Butler's contract, who's like, I mean, Jimmy Butler's still a star, right? Not in his prime at all. Aging star. But if you combine like a Kuminga with a Jimmy Butler, number one, that's like astronomical salary. But here's the thing. What you can now do is, I believe that Jimmy Butler and like a primed Jonathan Kuminga and a bunch of future draft capital, that at least maybe gets you a seat to the talks with Giannis. But it's like, that's too much salary for Giannis, so that allows the Warriors to in turn take on a bad salary or two, right? So say that like Kuminga and Jimmy Butler's, both their contracts are like, what, $85 million combined, I think now, something like that, seriously? What you can do is you can take that 50 or 54 that Giannis is making, you add that to the Warriors, but then you say, look, the Bucks, we're giving you two really quality players. One's a perennial all-star. The other one could be a future superstar, right? And Jonathan Kuminga, maybe. Okay, so you take those and you say, look, Giannis wants out anyways. Giannis wants to come to the Golden State Warriors. You are across the division from us. We'll take on a few bad contracts. So long story short, that's how things can get started, right? Won't be exactly how I said it. It might be somewhat, a little bit how I am talking about it, though. My advice, honestly, I have followed, like if you look at my Golden State Warriors playlist for C-Train Station, the first, Jonathan Kuminga helped inspire me to create this channel because of the upside that I saw in him. I'm not even kidding. Look at my first friggin' video ever. So listen to this is very interesting what I'm about to say. My advice, I do not trust Jonathan Kuminga or his agent to actually fully buy in 100%, like cultural wise, when it comes to not having the basketball all the time and buying in on defense and rebounding. I don't trust them. It's fine. Like, I don't trust them because I believe in the past they haven't done things to gain my trust. They're not, it's like not their modus operandi is like to gain C-Train's trust. But I'm just telling you, like the things that I see out there, they don't seem 100% on the level, honestly. And all I can say is this. So that's what I said, right? I have said in the past, don't trade Kuminga. I'm telling you right now, I do not trust him or his agent. Absolutely. And the Warriors should not in any way, shape, or form. Okay, and I'm going to make a few statements. I can say if Trey Murphy were on the squad right now instead of Jonathan Kuminga, I believe the Warriors are an absolute contender. They're a contender, bar none, with Trey Murphy on the squad. Stop. If Giannis is on this squad with Steph and Curry, I believe that just Giannis and Steph and Curry, like not just like 2-on-5, right? But a squad headed up by them, absolute instant contenders. I believe Steph has 5+ good seasons left, barring health, knock on wood. Seriously. It's until he's 42. Okay. Yeah, I think Steph can play at a very competitive level until he's 42. So, Trey Murphy, I think they're contenders. Giannis, I know they're contenders. With LeBron, I believe that the Warriors would be contenders as well. Okay, right now, as said, we now have almost the total roster construction of the Golden State Warriors. I think they're a good team. They're a good team. I think that they can compete and give the West a whole heck of a lot in the playoffs. So, with Trey Murphy, they're contenders. Contender. With Giannis, they're contenders. They can't contend. It's our year. It's time. With JK, I don't know, they're decent. Okay, well, they're decent. They got some good upside. We'll see. Hopefully they can stay healthy because they're a bunch of unks, right? Is your unk C train. So, what am I telling you right there? What am I telling you? You got this. You can connect the dots, right? Some dates, though. Some dates to remember. Seth Curry, Steph's brother, is rumored to still be in contention for the 15th and final roster spot. Now that Jonathan Kuminga is signed, he cannot sign Seth Curry cannot sign with the Warriors until November 18th. Jonathan Kuminga, another date to remember. Jonathan Kuminga cannot be traded until January 15th. So, my bottom line, Warriors fans, we should be really stoked that the Warriors they're coming into the season and they know what they have. It's really tried and true what they have, the players that they have, the culture that they have. It's tried and true. And I think this is a season that you can most definitely get excited about. With that said, nothing is sure. You never know about injuries. Who knows? Like, knock on wood, we don't want him to get injured, but Jonathan Kuminga could get injured to the point where he's completely untradeable. It's like happened before, right? So you never know what's going to happen. But right now, the Warriors have a beyond decent team. They got a good team. And I definitely think that there's a lot of upside should the dominoes fall sort of in the Warriors' favor in the West. But I absolutely love it. Hey, Dubnation, I said essentially right when Jonathan Kuminga, look, doesn't matter where I am, what's happening, I would have your back should Jonathan Kuminga sign. Dubnation, C-Train Station has your back. Hey, can you get my back too? I know that like tons of you do now. But hey, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 500 subscribers. We're close to getting monetized. And what happens when C-Train Station gets monetized? One thing, essentially. I'm not even getting one thing. It will finally allow me to have a little bit of income to give back. I absolutely want to give back with raffles, with little prizes. We're going to have a good time at C-Train Station. And it all starts with you. So thank you for your support and thank you for subscribing. And of course, for your Golden State Warriors content. Like, follow, subscribe. Comment down below, say what's up, and I'll see you next time at C-Train Station. Have a great one, guys. Take care.